just follow up.
Well, because I probably, some of them easily could have missed stuff. All right, so I think we're good. Recording started. All right, so
Okay.
let me, yeah, what's up?
The only actual edit I have is on the 12/16/22.
12,
That's-
16.
It's a very simple edit.
Where is the, I can't even find the meeting. Oh, yeah, okay.
At the bottom, I think you meant to write 12/20, the next meeting, 12/22/22.
Yeah,
That's all. That was the only edit I had. Everything else seemed fine.
12, 20. All right.
Follow-up questions, but we can wait for Tom.
I just sent him a message. I was thinking, because that's not him with the truck with the two the dualies, right?
I think his is a little lighter, but I'm not positive. It could be him.
I don't know. Usually, yeah. I didn't look down there to see if he was, but I feel like he would have said something.
John's talking to anybody, I don't see him talking to anybody.
Just see if there's anything we can do. Not really without.
Yeah, I don't think his truck doesn't have the 2 tires in the back, whatever that's called.
Yeah. Only because I think Sean already knows this. Tom already knows this. I think so. Gianni, the Eagle Scout, is going to do the siding on the classroom.
That was one question I had.
So I think
Tom
may have talked to him more. He emailed me the other day because I have to apply for the permit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get Joe Bianchi to pull. We have to pull an electric permit. I think we're going to just drop the service and just take that whole thing off the building.
Yeah.
But I believe that's the project he wants to do. And I think
good.
we may need to hire somebody to just do that part of the roof there because I think that's a little more technical than. But I think the kids can just strip the plywood and put it up.
Yeah, good.
I should probably ask him about disposal. Huh.
Because is the shingles coming off?
Not the shingles, but even the wood they don't want. I wonder if we can just work with him and like pay him to use the dumpster that's already down there if he's going to have it.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That might be easier.
That's what we did with, we had a rollaway when we did the bathroom or the deck. The guys just said, put whatever you want in it.
I mean, we can get them, but.
Yeah, he was told me Harvey's really expensive now. Well, you used somebody else with the rollaway. They were really expensive.
Well, he was down there. It's Roy.
Oh yeah.
But I think and so I think was that who did the rock the block that Lonnie got a roll up delivered.
Yeah, whoever it might be Roy. It was the guy that does the. I think he does our recycling now in town. Whoever we use.
That's Harvey, unless you have your own stuff.
Can you use Harvey? He used the other one though. Isn't there another one?
Oh,
they just contacted.
Republic?
Somebody bought them out.
I don't know.
I remember the name, and said somebody bought them out. They got bought out, and I said, "Oh, I saw that company driving through Mendon, back in the fall, because they didn't have the Harvey truck." But Harvey bought out somebody, I think, or vice versa. Somebody might have bought Harvey, and it was Harvey was very expensive. I think.
I wonder.
We use Casella for the schools, which we are using Casella. We're trying not to, and then Waste Management.
Yeah.
But I think one of the big ones, maybe Harvey got bought out by
somebody. Well, maybe it's going to be in March, so I don't know what. It's probably easy to just get our own dumpster.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sean's got going on down there because you pay by the weight, don't you? Mm-hmm. So if we don't fill it up.
That's what the dumpster. Yeah, it's by the weight.
Pay for the dumpster. So we probably should just.
Well, that's why we filled it up because the thing was they were like never going to put the amount of weight. The thing it was like we're paying because we obviously paid for it. The guy brought it in, but
because there's some other stuff we could probably.
We definitely filled it.
Let's get rid of too.
The only other question I have, which we don't really need to wait for Tom for that, is Did we ever decide about naming the softball concession stand? That was on one of the.
No, so I don't know I don't know if I emailed the guy back and said, come chat with us, or where we left it. Let me look. I think at the time it was like in the middle of the summer, and then we just kind of tabled it.
That's always a nice.
Did somebody?
Nice to do during like opening day. And that's gonna be here pretty quick.
Yeah, we should. I'll have to try and contact that person again and see. They're still because I think the baseball one was an Eagle project. I think we figured that out.
Right. Yep, that was in the minutes. Yep.
And then I don't know the softball one, and I don't know the involvement.
That was Tom Hackett.
Here we go.
I think that was one thing he was heavily involved with softball over the years.
Let me reach out to this guy.
I'll text Tom. With T-Mobile 2 or 3 months ago, and the reception here is really good.
But is it? I don't know. I think that's a Verizon tower.
Really?
But I have full service here. I mean, I get a new phone, but it's just Verizon. But I finally have the. I don't know if do you have 5G on your phone though? Because
with T-Mobile,
that's new.
I do with the phone, but with T-Mobile, I was aiding had an appointment with Waltham this morning, and I was getting 5G there. You know, the city, but not as much the towns. But T-Mobile, they tell you they're expanding very, very rapidly.
Yeah.
And the bigger areas, certainly you get the 5G, but now we're starting to get it out here and there.
I can log on at 1:30. So I don't know. We could temporarily adjourn and go walk down there if you want, or because most of this stuff probably would be better to go through with everybody.
Yeah,
it's all
I
pretty quick.
Somebody. He hasn't.
Oh, he answered me. I responded no to the meeting invitation. I can log, but.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that.
But we picked this date.
Yeah,
because he said he was here.
Oh, so we have to
maybe
adjourn?
Something. Well, no. He said he can log on at 1:30.
Oh, okay.
I'm confused because it was after we finished the meeting, and then we were texting you to find the next date.
Right. Yep.
And I thought this was the date because that was what was on
Yeah,
the
because I think it was also based on what I was telling you guys that I had to work at 3 and.
Otherwise, he said he could jump on at 1:30. We could run down and take a look at that, or I mean, most of this.
Are we meeting like part of today to make another payment? Or
no,
just
I wanted to.
Progress?
I had a few
summer stuff.
A few things on the budget,
right.
And then I wanted to run through the summer stuff just to confirm pricing plans. And the main thing I need to get your feedback on a potential counselor and training program. No, you two go ahead with the meeting, and I'll tune in at 1:30 if you want me to.
Do you have, by chance, any tissues up here? Those are starting to run.
Yeah, we do.
Even paper, like napkins would be fine.
There's paper towel right there.
Yeah, that would
be fine. Like 90% certain we have tissue in here somewhere. I'll have to remember to plug this in there. Well, let me table, I don't know, I guess, when do you have to leave?
I have to leave here by like 10 on, 5 off, 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, I have plenty of time.
Well, so with the budget, just changes from what we discussed. 2 things I forgot. I think I'd like to request an extra 200 in building and equipment maintenance, just because of inflation.
Yeah.
That was just stuff we hadn't included.
Oh yeah, my goodness, who knows, right?
Oops, what did I just do?
He's still working at the school.
Oh, jeez. The and then the other one was the lights. I totally forgot. I want to add. I want to see if we can do some more street lights. So I'd like to ask for another $1,000 in the light line. So up by the bathrooms, I talked to Grid. I think so that you pay rental on the floodlights and then you pay the electricity. It sounds like they would be willing to install a floodlight, but it's on our side of the meter, so we just pay the rental fee and the light, and then the electricity's on our bill.
Okay.
But it would be much easier than trying to wire, because they can just go right into before the panel.
Yeah.
And then down here, the softball field, I think I'd like to do a floodlight on that pole shining this way at the classroom, so it'll light up that back area, and then a street light by the entrance. Just, it's super dark. And then we have 2 lights and 1 light. I'm gonna have them move one, so it's 1, 1, 1.
Yeah.
That go this way.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
But
I
think it's worth a little bit extra.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. I can make a motion
Okay, so AJ, I'll
to
second.
accept your recommendations for additional lighting.
Oh, she answered me. I did ask Grid to give us to find the pricing sheet. 1,000 might be. Ooh, we do now offer LED lights. I'll have to follow up with her on that. That would save us some money. All right, so that's the budget. Let me just look at the agenda and see if there's anything else. We talked to us the Eagle Project. The playground, I don't have something to review yet. I got to write the RFP, so we'll have to finish that because we just have to get 3 quotes on the playground, or at least attempt to. If they don't respond, that's okay.
Yeah.
Same with the fence. We got 3 quotes, so I think I just need to meet with or reach out to the low bidder was
North Smithfield.
North Smithfield and just get us on the schedule because I think we got to order the stuff.
Yep.
So hang on. I have to write something up. We got to get pricing, formal pricing for the pickleball and the courts. I think I don't remember which meeting we talked about it. I'm thinking the basketball court, especially if the summer league is willing to chip in. I think we should just pay for it.
Yeah.
I think it was. I want to say it was 10. Does that sound right? And
Yeah,
then I think he said they could do 5.
Yeah, I thought when he talked to me, I thought he said 3, but maybe
Oh,
they
maybe
were
that's right.
That was Babe.
Okay.
So I don't know if Dave.
Yeah.
I think I talked to him a bit too, and they kind of were like, maybe we can do more. You know what I mean? At the time it was 3. Maybe they could do more. And I think it was one of those of let us know what you think, what you need, and we'll see what we can do. So if we say 5, they may say, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Split the cost.
Unfortunately, that light pole really screwed us. I talked to Alan to see if we have to buy new poles. They're very expensive.
Yeah.
They're at minimum of $1,000. So you can't do that anymore. We have to do proper concrete footing and light poles. Alan was going to see if there was any sources for surplus streetlight poles. But I was finding prices between $1,000 and $2,000 a piece. So I don't know. I'm trying to find somebody that can inspect these because I think they were only installed in the 80s. They're not that old.
Yeah, who would do
I don't know. I'm asking National Grid, and I think I'm going to call up Mike Jones and see if he has any suggestions. But I'm thinking we should probably get pricing. I know we go back and forth on this project. I think given now the change, we should probably get pricing to potentially replace everything and just do it all and not try and do stuff ourselves if they're already going to be out here. hopefully they can reuse a lot of what's there and just tie in, and it just goes up the inside of the pole.
Yeah.
So we might actually be able to sell off or return some of that conduit,
Mhm.
but we could just buy the lights and then just close that out. Because if they're already going to come here and pour footings and install poles, they might as well just swap the panel and get that all done.
Mm.
You know, unless BVT really wants to do it. It seemed like it was really challenging getting them to be able to commit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I'll have to write something up and try and get pricing on that. I mean, the basketball court lights still work. Those two far tennis lights hadn't worked because the wiring was cut. I had run an extension cord for the Rock the Block party. But the best part is the bulb blew up. That front piece of glass survived, and it cracked a tiny bit on the housing, and that's
Really?
it.
Is that heavy, that piece?
Oh, yeah.
Must be.
That thing weighs probably 50 pounds.
Yeah.
The pole snapped in half. Very strange. But not good.
Because when do you think it was put up?
Well, so she just told me that the last pole that Grid owns, they have a date of 1988.
Oh, yeah.
I had 1986 for when we built out the park.
Yeah.
So that matches up.
Yeah.
But like we have utility poles from the 40s in town.
Yeah, wow.
They have I forget the lifespan. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So I don't know
Because
why.
they're still up, yeah. Yeah, that's something. That's amazing, huh? And those are all the telephone poles? All
Yeah.
the wood poles?
Because something came across for water. It was a dig safe, and it had a whole list of poles. And there's ones on Providence Street that are from the 40s.
Wow.
Because they replaced them all now.
Oh.
So that's a pain in the neck. Eagle Project. I will draft the annual report and send it out. I ran out of time. Yeah, so I'll get pricing on the formal pricing on the pickleball and all that. I mean, the basketball. I guess the basketball he would either have to do it and be done by mid-June or wait.
Was somebody asking about pickleball? Was somebody asking? I know
Do you know
Lisa Hilton was involved.
Calvin
but
Crocker.
No.
He trying to think if his kids were ever his daughter is Nora that was in school with me and Nigel, if you remember that name.
No, not really. Vaguely. The reason I ask is I think pickleball in Upton is run by the Upton Men's Club, I believe. Either that or the guy that used to be the president of Mendon. He has the real estate agency. But I don't know if it's Upton Men's Club is doing it.
Do they have like a formal league?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very popular right now.
I just figured, I mean, for Clough, it's an underutilized, especially in the summer, nobody's there.
So that's what we're thinking of putting it.
We're gonna do both.
Both.
So over at Clough, they can repaint. I think he said it'll fit 2 courts with a portable net on wheels. So we'd either have to have you would sign it out, or we could chain it to the fence, and then obviously the school would have it.
So we would be responsible for the pickle if we did a league or anything that would go through us.
Either way, I think we could run it, or we could just say, you want to start a league, reserve the court.
Yeah.
Just like you do baseball or anything else, and let somebody else. Well, maybe it was tennis. I know Chris Hadfield had reached out once. I think somebody would organize something, and we wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Worry about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it.
And then here, I think it would be 2 courts, the existing nets. I guess you just lower them a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But it lets us get both. I mean, that one needs to be painted too. It lets us get both of these repainted and cleaned up.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fun.
So, and I'd like to at some point, and maybe we can explore CPA. We might consider buying one of those portable ice rink things. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, one of the dads at Just a Wee, he bought the Bradley house on Maple Street. The old pink house.
Okay.
So they bought that one that was all rehabbed and stuff. And he has a pool in the backyard. I don't know if he did it over the pool. There's a full ice rink back there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely people out there that could help us. I don't know if Upton's doing it anymore.
Well, I looked online real quick. On the tennis court, I think the posts are sleeved.
Yeah.
So you could take them up. It's like a liner with borders. The only thing that we'd struggle with is you have to fill it. and then you have to have water to maintain it.
Yeah, you have to
So we
work.
have to see if the
Work
fire
on it.
department could help because we have no water.
Yeah,
And obviously there's no, like, stuff doesn't get plowed. But if you plowed this lot and just, people would make the trek,
yeah, oh
up
yeah, yeah.
there.
Hockey seems to be gaining a lot of momentum as far as kids playing and stuff. But I
Yeah.
think that's partly because they both male and female can play hockey now through the school. It's like a combined team. I forget what they call co-op team or something.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think the girls and the boys are playing now because I'm talking to one dad who would love for his daughter to play hockey, and I said, she's only like in kindergarten, maybe first grade, and I said, I'm pretty sure they have a girls team, and they do, but it's a co-op type thing.
So maybe once we get caught up with some of this other stuff, that's something to look into. Because we were gonna do it in the lake, but then it doesn't freeze.
Yeah, I don't think Tony's gonna. I mean, unless something changes, that fishing derby is.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, I'm glad they did that
Because he thought it's the end of January, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not doing the fishing derby at the end of January.
Well, somebody was telling me the other night that they think it's gonna get cold.
Can it freeze that fast? Couple weeks that you can go on it within 2 weeks?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
really
either.
Don't know. I mean, even that time that we went out, it had the last year. It was iffy in some spots.
Oh, was it?
It had water. It's weird. It like gets water on top, but it was thick.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
Doesn't look
Oh,
like not even a little bit.
well, it was frozen. It was more frozen.
Was it? And now it's
Now it's not.
not at all. I mean, look at it. You can see the water moving.
The ground hasn't frozen because I want to get.
Yeah.
We need to get mulch delivered.
Yeah.
And I wanted to wait for the ground to freeze because I want them to go all the way around the back.
Yeah.
And dump it, but we can't drive up there right
Well,
now.
Ted Steves, I don't know, you know where I live, but so at the end of my property, if you're facing my house to the right, I opened up. That's where Mike Tatro went in and did all the his vehicles for the septic.
Yeah.
So he put it all back together, but I reopened it because Ted Steves says he's a couple trees way out back he wanted to get to.
Yeah.
And obviously, he can't go back there. Not now. I mean, he wanted when the ground was frozen, but it's all mud. At least the top layer is all mud.
Even these, I've been talking to Ted. We got to get this tree taken down, but
Yeah.
we got to let the ground freeze because he'll.
Yeah, he gets stuck. He won't do it.
Um,
He's actually taking down some at Hasten Street, the Menden School. He did some work this morning. He must do all Hackinson's work.
My parents use him. He's great. The
Oh,
only
he's
thing
great.
he doesn't have a crane, but
Yeah, he does.
he has the bucket.
Yeah, he's hit the bucket.
But
It doesn't
for
go
most
as high as a crane?
I don't think he does the full because like down here they had to have a full on crane
Why? What's the difference?
for the height to
Height.
safely take him down.
Yeah, because he used the bucket for our house, and it was actually, I thought it was like almost an art form the way he was doing
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It was unbelievable. I loved watching him do it. It was incredible. And his guys are like,
Well,
they're
they
so
lower
good.
it down and
oh, he doesn't go just from top to bottom. He's like looking at the tree. He's going. It's really amazing
Yeah.
to watch him. And he did one tree that was right near our power lines, all the lines coming to the house, and never ever even came close to hitting one. It was really something to watch. Yeah, he took down a total of 22 trees on our property, and
yeah.
I got plenty of wood from it too, which was nice.
Yeah, there was a huge one in the back. We finally had to take down because it was dying.
Yeah.
It's the same problem as the cemeteries. It's all those old pine trees.
Yeah.
And then they just start dropping stuff.
We had a pine tree. I look out last week, I think, and I was like, oh boy, this pine. We just put a new shed out, kind of further out back, right at the property line, and it didn't hit it, but it had been coming down slowly over the years. Now there's a big one on the neighbor's property. You can see it's dying.
Yeah.
And that's right over our pool and the pool house, and so you can only hope, that they look at it, go, all right, we can get that. But you're still looking at with Ted probably $1,200
Yeah.
to get that. If you do that and the stump, grinding the stump's pretty cheap. But
Yeah.
the real big trees was I don't know if it's 1,200. I thought his prices were really good.
I am glad we did down there, like with all the stumps gone.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the butt. So it was
That's
nice.
what we had.
was
If I
nice.
could have, I would have taken every single stump out because we had a tree out front where we wanted to expand our parking, and Bruce Clifton came in, and he was able to get the whole stump out. I was amazed because Ted was like, we can't grind it because it was stone wall, it had worked its way around a couple big pieces of stone, and and Bruce got it out. But I'd much rather that than grind it down. Just get the whole freaking stump right out.
Well, I think a lot of them, I think he did just pull
Yeah.
because he ended up the ones in the sand, I think came right out because there's not much holding them in.
Well, what Ted said, the problem was Ted. I don't know if it was Ted or somebody else said. Oh, Mike Tatro said that nobody wants them anymore. You used to be able to,
Oh yeah,
have a place, and they said nobody will take them. So he didn't want to help me with the other ones. He's like, I don't know where to put it.
yeah, right. All right. So the other thing that it came up, so the AEDs.
Yeah.
So baseball, softball, and soccer have AEDs that they bought. Unfortunately, what's happening, they're not getting maintained. They're not, the pads expire, the batteries die. All three of them have dead batteries. The more I'm thinking about it in terms of just liability, I'd like to propose that I'd like to work with them. I think we should buy boxes to mount them outside. That seems to be the trend.
Were they all in the snack
They're
shack?
in the shack, so the coaches obviously have access.
Yeah.
But the new recommendation is that they be in an exterior box. It's alarmed and all that with cameras.
Yeah.
But it has a heater in it.
After that football incident, it's going to become major.
Yeah.
That we have to have quick access.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now especially.
Very quick access, and obviously, if no one is keeping up with them, and you have one that's dead, it's useless.
Right.
You can't just plug it in. They can be charged. You know what I mean? You can't plug it in at the moment.
Right. Yeah.
As far as I know.
Well, so what I'd like to suggest, and I haven't reached out. It's funny. Chris Collins just emailed me today about it. I'd like to suggest that the three groups transfer ownership of the devices to the town, and that going forwards, we will take over the maintenance.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot of money. It's probably, $200 every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I think we should do an article at town meeting. These boxes are like $700 each. I think we could easily put an article on the warrant and ask for like $3,000. Because I'd also like to switch them so that soccer and softball have the same brand, so they can share pads. So I'd rather have those here, because then we can just buy 3 sets of pads.
Yeah.
And then have the other one at soccer and just find a place to mount them.
The other reality too with that is I wonder if the result of this, NFL player collapsing and surviving because of the quick, obviously that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But if it require more training with the coaches and stuff, and it's always easier if you have, similar, if you're in different locations to have a similar AED, because they are a little bit different. They all pretty much function the same, but.
Well, I wish, like ours down the beach has a key for child mode.
Yeah.
These ones unfortunately need the different pads.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a scam, but
yeah,
they got to get their money. So I think if they fail, I think it's the Heart Start FRX is what we bought.
Yeah.
And I actually, depending on pricing, we might consider buying one for the camp.
Yeah.
We have one down the beach, but I'm wondering if the camp should have one especially that they bring with them on trips.
Yeah.
Some places have them, but some don't.
Yeah, the other thing that I don't know if you heard this, but
$1,000.
it was interesting, but from what I understand, the NFL player that went down, have you ever seen it's like a chest plate thing they can put on that does it for you?
The Lucas, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they used, I heard.
I don't know if men did. I've read about that. That's like,
I would imagine like the fire department, those guys probably have them.
Yeah, well, we bought, I started reading about it, and then I asked Kessler. So we bought one of those the rebreather bags, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that like no mouth to mouth anymore."
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what we were teaching. Use the bags. I actually have them at just the Wii as well. Yeah, nobody's doing mouth to mouth anymore.
So like we have one in our kit, but I'm thinking I'll get pricing. They're about $1,000. We probably should buy one for the camp. And then if we can, I'll talk to the leagues and just say, if they'd be willing, I think it'd be cleaner for them to just effectively donate them to the town, and then we'll take over the management.
Yeah, I think that's
because like you said, if somebody ever went to use that and it's not working, it's our asses.
That's the maintenance piece, because the coach is one thing to maintain it, and the officers of the different sporting groups don't seem to think about it. But yeah, that's what. Anytime I teach the class, I say, who's responsible for making sure the battery's charged up. And they always have somebody.
Right.
The places I used to go to, they always had somebody that was responsible for it. But if nobody is, then that's what you get.
Just for the recording, I don't want to fault anybody. I think it's easy to.
I think though
overlooked
you deal with a serious potential liability issue to have it available and then it's not maintained.
Right. You know, but I think, you know, like we'll have to find a location with power, but probably would have to go on this pole and then the other one on the shed for Tetro might be
Yeah.
the best location.
Yeah,
I'd love to put it on the flagpole, but there's no power out there unless we.
Yeah, I don't know if you
spend
need a
bunch of money
motion,
and-
but I definitely motion that we
but I
put in
think,
that request as you recommend. I
So
think it's a
you're
really good idea.
And are you okay? I'll get pricing. Well, maybe I'll get pricing and bring it back. I think we should talk
Yeah.
about buying one for the camp.
Yeah.
I'll second. I'll contact that.
Yeah, I think that's a
thing
great idea.
You know, I think, yeah. All right, and so then, I guess I don't see Tom yet. Where's the programming? I copied this twice. So, just to run through where I'm at, let's see. So the town beach, I think pending the work that gets done, we're looking at opening June 19th. The camp, I think, I emailed Alan, I haven't heard back. I don't think the camp can run until the 26th.
The week after.
Mendon Upton's out the 14th.
Yeah.
Halston's out the 21st. And I think if she's still in Franklin, I think they're out the 20th. So we might be able to start midweek. But unfortunately, we're so big, we just can't run without them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think it kind of stinks because parents have nothing to do for that week with the kids. But I think it really kills us to try and jump right into it with half our people and
Early
Crazy.
vacation week though, cheaper
But-
to go away at the end of June than it is
Yeah,
to.
right.
So maybe they'll take advantage of that too.
I'm thinking for the hours for the beach, we just do every day 11 to 7. Only 20 people came before 11 on the
Yeah.
weekends last year.
Yeah.
And then so the lessons would be from like 8:30 up to 11. But I think it's more consistent. And then I'm thinking just keep the prices the same. When we did go up last year, so 3 and 5 and 75 and 150.
Yeah.
The only other thing part of me thinks we should do like a, big kickoff,
I agree with you.
but I don't know if we want to, we'll have to see how things go. Maybe we could do it in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, I don't actually think I think it might be a good idea to do a progress type thing. If we could kind of show people where we're at, what's going on, even if we use social media for that, because
Yeah, I have to do that. I've been neglecting.
is a Facebook page, we have two separate pages, one's the town beach and one's the summer camp? Or
we
they
have
the
3.
same?
I have one for the park, one for the
Okay.
camp, and one for the beach.
Yeah.
I've been neglecting. I need to post about this.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I took some pictures the other day.
Yeah, a real simple update and
But I'm thinking like maybe we do it in the middle of the summer, like a celebration,
Yeah.
rededication of the beach facility.
yeah. I was talking to him
Might
about
be.
it when he was over the house the other day, and he said he would he could put up like a booth type thing, and just to share with people. Why not, right?
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have like refreshments and maybe have the select board down, and
Why don't we could do it when we're open and almost have like a party?
I think that would be awesome.
Do like
Grand
a formal,
opening.
like a grand reopening. And even if we, like I said,
Yeah.
even if we wait and do it in like mid-July,
Yeah,
once the
Right.
the thing is finished,
yeah.
that might be a good idea to get the community and have all the select board.
I think you're right. Pick a date and just really
do
show it
nothing.
off, and maybe have some free drinks and maybe something simple. But I think the community's got to see it, and they're going to be
Yeah.
really impressed.
Well, I'll follow up with events for this summer and talk to Cable 8 and see how that goes. Because we usually have a good run of concerts.
Yeah,
and all
wouldn't it
that,
be a
see.
bad idea that would be nice to piggyback it with like maybe a band going and really make it kind of a festive event.
Get it'd be good like I don't know if your father would be interested, or Dick Grady, like those people that were involved in the
Ooh.
beginning.
Yeah,
That first
yeah. Who's still around? Trying to think.
kind of brought it up.
Mr. Tommy Grant's or Jimmy Grant's dad, but he's
Yeah.
passed.
So then the swim lesson program, I think what makes them, and again, it's going to be a little iffy, assuming we can open on time. I think I want to do 3 sessions. They'd be about 2 weeks long. say maybe like 8 or 9 classes. They'd be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll skip Wednesday, but that'll be an optional makeup day. And then we're going to have like 4 days at the end of each session for makeups.
Yeah, good.
Because unfortunately, we get so clobbered with the beach closings.
Yeah,
We end up pushing lessons more and more.
yeah,
So I think we have to, right now, until we can work that out, we have to leave a huge buffer. But I think we can fit 3 sessions in. The
good.
third one may not get a lot of interest. And then it would be so going backwards, level 1, level 2, and then levels 3 and 5, and then 4 and 6. And we might have to fudge with those a little bit to get the, make sure we have enough numbers to run the class. But, we did all right last year.
Mm.
And especially with the little kids, that seems to be the interest.
Yeah, good.
And then leaving Wednesdays open solves the problem with the camp field trips too.
Yeah.
And then I think I'd leave the pricing the same. It was 80 and 95. That was a bit of an increase.
Yeah, because our expenses really won't go up much, right?
Minimum wage is up a little bit.
Yeah.
My suggestion is to leave the pricing the same for everything, including the rec program. I think I was kind of waiting to see what Upton was going to do, but
We raised our prices at the daycare 4%. I talked to Joe Alves the other day. He raised his prices, 2023 prices. Everybody's raising their prices. I think he went up 8%, he said. So
maybe we should.
yeah, everybody's going up because everything else, any of the food, everything's going to be more expensive. Plus all our minimum, you even have a general sense of how many kids would be at the 15? Because then that means everybody else that was at 15 is going to go
Well,
up.
it affects everybody in general.
Everybody, yeah.
If we went up, like if we use that number, so maybe we should do the lessons would go from 80 to 95. Would you do 85 and 100 or 85 and 99? Or should we just do 100?
Yeah, I would just do 100.
And then the beach, would you leave the beach alone, you think? Or
Yeah, but entry fee?
so it's 3 and 5, and then
I think so,
75
yeah.
and 150 for the passes.
Yeah.
I will say with the season passes, almost nobody gets their money's worth, so we're making money on the passes.
Really, yeah.
Which is, it's kind of how that works.
Yeah, so that they take care of themselves as
We
far as
check
that
in.
goes, and then,
We
because I would
profit,
assume, wouldn't the snack shack prices go up a bit? Because all the food's going to go up.
Well, it's funny. Our food costs didn't go up as much as you would have thought last year.
Really?
But I did raise some prices, and I probably will again
Yeah.
once I see what's on the shelves.
Yeah.
Because,
Seems like everything's gone up.
certain things like the slush is very expensive. I think certain products get very expensive. All the prepackaged ice
Well,
cream.
it blew me away. I might have said this already, but at the daycare we were doing Pizza Fridays, charging $1.50, and I realized that pizza, you can't charge $1.50 for a slice of pizza. You have to charge more like $3 to break even.
Oh yeah.
It's gone up that much.
I don't think so. I think with the camp, we were doing pizza on Wednesdays because it lined up with field trips. I think we're just going to do bring from home on every Wednesday, and then some of the trips we will buy lunch.
Yeah.
But same thing, the pizza. We were alternating between Deluxe and Hideaway, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
More expensive than us doing like hot dogs.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was kind of blown away by the cost of pizza.
But so if we do that, and then for the rec program, so we were doing 240 and 55. So then if we go, I just want to so it was 55 times 5 is 275 minus 240. So it's $35 discount for the weekly pricing. Which I don't know how important that is, since most of our people are daily. And we are super cheap.
Yeah, we are super cheap. Which isn't a bad thing. We like helping the community out, but we just gotta make sure, I don't know if we do. The one thing about going up is it never goes backwards. So,
Right.
if we feel like we can maintain our costs, if people won't be, to be able to say, hey, we're not raising the
Well,
prices.
I don't know.
We don't need to.
We could do 60 and
What was it, daily
it
55?
was 240 and 55.
Yeah, 55.
So if we did like 60 and 250, 60 times 5 is 300, so it's $50 off for a week, though.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's too much of a discount, or,
yeah, it's a good discount.
I mean,
That's weekly fee, not like sibling, like not a
and
family.
then the sibling discount is,
That's on top of that, huh?
let me look at that again, because I just want to make sure we were saying the sibling discount is 5% for the, so the second and third kid each get 5% off.
Yeah, that's not much. That
Have we
doesn't
done
add up
that?
too
And then the financial assistance, let me just double check that one too. I want to say the financial assistance is 20% off,
And that's,
which
they have to prove it by the milk fund or whatever,
yeah, the
whatever that
school
is.
lunch program.
Maybe we should ask Tom, you know, the only discount I wonder if we want to rethink is if they do weekly and just say, we don't need to offer that, you know?
I don't, let me look at the sheet.
Because the reason for offering that is to get in the numbers, but we don't need that anymore, right? The numbers are so high.
Yeah, let me hear. I have the numbers. The only thing that is nice about it is it's better to have more, like it's better, it's more consistent. It's kind of a pain when the kid only comes, 2 days a week. And
Yeah.
so the sibling discount last year cost us $2,200, so that's nothing.
Right.
Financial assistance was $800. It seems to be right around there, $800 to $900. The weekly discount, it was $13,000 last year.
Yeah.
of money
I mean, you know what we
gave
do?
away.
We also don't offer a single day. We at the daycare, if you want to use a comparison, but
Yeah.
we do 2, 3, or 5. We don't
Okay.
do. Must be probably Tom.
I don't think we can get it. We have a huge part of our business is drop-in.
Hey, Tom.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Got my video.
Does he want to jump on the teams though?
You want to go on the teams?
I can't. Hold on. Let me get logged in here. Sorry.
Okay. Because I set it up.
They called this meeting. That's why I had to decline the meeting with you guys. But if you're still in, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we were just.
Yep.
I think AJ literally just said we should probably ask Tom about this. So you're reading our mind. And then I saved the
Okay.
rec stuff for last. So, that I wanted some input on.
I can come over there if you want.
Yeah. No, I just
Do
take
both?
No, I've got the camera,
Okay.
so he should see us.
All right, it's booting up now. Here we go.
Okay.
Click to join the meeting. All right, should be plugging in here in a second.
Oh, let me turn on my speakers. I probably need to do that.
Yeah, I can join the meeting too on my phone.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't. He should be able to hear us on this.
All right.
You in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, AJ, I'll see you.
See ya.
All right.
There we go.
So I mean, unless you want to see,
I'll come
see
over.
Tom over
I'll
here,
come-
but
yeah.
we got the other camera. All right.
I have a camera view from your right, Dan.
Yeah, that's the oh, mine is off. That's the cell phone. I did that to record so that's our camp phone that's signed in. I mean, I could turn mine on too if you. Easier than not. So I think we were talking about pricing. So the beach would stay the same, 3 and 5, 75 and 150, and then the lessons would go up. It was 80 and 95. Now it'd be 85 and 100.
Yep.
And then, because AJ was saying, a lot of people seem to be raising their prices. And then we were talking about the camp. So last year it was 240 for the week and 55 for the day. I kind of like what you were saying, AJ. Maybe we should either eliminate or close the gap on the weekly discount, because it is just, I mean, the vast majority of people are daily registrations.
The
So
day
there's
to day?
Not really much benefit in encouraging. I mean, it would be nice, but
I was saying that.
Doesn't it benefit you to schedule?
it does a little bit, but I don't think it actually makes a difference in terms of changing people's mind. They sign up for what they want.
So if they paid every day instead of by the week, what are they saving?
$35.
Saving $35.
Dan was able to show last year that the various like discounts we gave. So when you get to the weekly discount, I don't know if you want to say we lost, but we didn't bring it. It ended up being $13,000. You know, and I'm not sure, like, for a comparison's sake, well, first of all, Dan, which I think we know, is that we're a lot less expensive than pretty much anybody else. And for the daycare, we don't offer a weekly discount. We don't offer a daily. You can't come in for the day. We couldn't survive that. We have, I think it's 2 days, 3 days, or 5, but there's no discount, I don't believe.
At our camp or the other camps you're talking about? Oh, at just the we you're talking about?
Yeah, just as, I don't know what else to compare it to, but we do not offer daily. We offer, it's either 2 days, 3 days, or 5. Because the daily can get, well, we couldn't do it. It just was, it's something we couldn't do to have, you know, we wouldn't fill it. But the other thing we talked about was that we're still offering this kind of a discount, but we have to increase our salaries. You know, everything's going to go up. Because as we bring kids to $15, everybody else has got to get more money too that's coming back. So
I'm fine closing the gap a little. What is it per day, Dan?
So it's 55 a day. So I don't know.
So I think we're doing 50 a day for the people that are signing up for a week, right? Does that make sense? Right around there?
Yeah, if we wanted to keep the separate price, so that would be, so it'd be 55 and 250. I don't know if we want to like make it raise the 55 to 60 as well, or if we don't want to change. I don't know.
I don't know. I think maybe we ask Alan, is it helpful for them to know that they're getting a kid for a week kind of thing for scheduling purposes? I mean,
I think it is, but I think
the only incentive we would ever have is make it easier to schedule.
it is, but I think based on what I'm seeing, it is not incentivizing the difference. And people, if people want to sign up by the week, the price isn't changing their mind. People are very much, I mean, effectively we're running a daycare program. It's a very drop-in based. The few that do come by the week, you know, it's great, but I don't think eliminating that completely would change it.
we raised our prices at the daycare 4% across the board as of January 1st. We did not hear from a single person. It's expected.
So are we
expected.
thinking about raising prices at all for the camp?
We talked about it a little bit.
Well, so the
Minimal.
55 times
I mean,
5.
I like the idea of the incentive, and it helps those families that can't provide any kind of care, so they basically can't take care of their kid. I think that's helpful to them, to, you know, help keep the prices down for them, save a little bit of money if they keep them there for the week. And then some parents have no choice; they have to send the kid for the week. You know, which can get expensive, but so those are just things I'm thinking of, being in the, you know, parent that had young kids at one point. Seems like a different lifetime ago, but
I mean, the camp is making money. I think, you know, we effectively on paper profited $92,000,
right,
which is a lot. You know, granted, we're going to turn around and dump that into facilities, and I think we probably are going to expand our payroll a little bit too. But
Right.
I don't necessarily think we're hurting for money, but it's just more now is the time, I think, to raise pricing that coincides with the market. But
it coincides with salaries.
yeah,
Right.
As our costs go up, we have to raise the rates.
Right.
I mean, if we did,
Minimum wage is now 15, and then a lot of these kids have been with us a while, so they're gonna get bumped up at least a dollar an hour, right, or close to that.
I mean, if we changed it to $60 a day or $275 a week, that's a $25 discount down from $35. But it's also, you know, I mean, there's an increase in pricing as well.
Yeah, well, maybe we just trim it down a little bit.
So what did you say? So that's $5. You get $5 off,
right,
for the weekly pricing. So so 60 and 55, or do we stick with 55 and 50?
I don't know, what's a day over just a week?
Wish I could find Upton's.
I think we're looking at 340 for a week, full time.
Upton unpublished all their stuff, so I don't know what
They
charge.
did, huh?
Well, I just talked to her about something
Well,
else.
that's $68 a day for a week. So we're at, what, 50 and 55? We could go to 55 and 60.
And we're
That's,
still cheap. We're still cheaper.
Right.
that was kind of what I was,
Why don't we
Thank-
do that? I'd keep the discount in there for the families that have no alternative but to bring their kid there every day.
And you keep in mind, we also, which I haven't said yet, so you can't really keep in mind, but we charge a supply fee every summer, and they pay for the field trips. I don't know if we do or not. I should know this, but
no, it's all included.
yeah. So I
So
mean,
we're getting a huge deal.
we that's extra.
That's
You
a
want to
pretty
go
good
to
deal.
Southwick? It was like $75 a kid because we had to get a bus and stuff, and then they have a supply fee every year as well. But the summer, at least this summer, they pay extra above and beyond the tuition.
Yep.
So $60 a day or $275 a week for the rec.
Yep.
Is what we're saying. And then I mentioned this before. I think it looks like we would run for 9 weeks. I emailed Alan and Jen, but it was kind of late, so I haven't heard back. Unfortunately, Nipmuc gets out the 14th. Holston doesn't get out until the week after. We might be able to do a partial week, but I got to talk to them. As much as it stinks not running, I think it's helpful to have that time to prep and do the training we need to do.
Right.
And,
I think it's worthwhile to have them there.
I mean, it's just
As many kids as we can at that point.
I'll see what they say, and maybe we can review that. My intent would be to get everything updated on the website, and then maybe we can open registrations potentially, February or March 1st. I mean, I might as well earlier is better.
Right.
Guys, if you want to, you can look to your right, up on the wall.
Yeah.
Looking up on the wall to your right.
Yeah.
See the camera right there? There's a
Yeah.
camera right. You can look at me. I can look directly at you.
I could do that. Here.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Because I'm looking at the sides of your head.
Sorry.
Camera.
We gotta buy a camera for in here.
No, the camera works fine. I just that's the one that seems to be on right now. That's all.
So
I
then,
got a camera I can give you.
Oh,
I'll
do
try to
you-
remember to get it to you.
I said we could put
Pop
one
it
on
right
top
here.
of the thing. Well, this has one built in, but it's
Oh
little.
yeah.
But if we're gonna meet here, it might be worth spending, $100 on something that would cover this room.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying to AJ, I didn't really think this through. It's a little cold in here, but
Yeah. We can see our breath.
was thinking we'd
Yeah.
go next
Yeah, it
door.
does
So I
get
think-
chilly in there.
What else? The beach. So the beach, just 11 to 7 every day. We might be able to open the beach the week of the 19th, but I think we're gonna have to wait and see how this project goes if he's ready. I have a feeling we're gonna be pushing it to the last minute.
Any blocks that arrive yet?
Not yet. I believe we've worked it all out. He's down there. I was gonna go check in with him. I know Dave had questions about the pavers needed. He estimated there was a difference between his number and Sean's number that he's not sure if they'll be able to donate the difference, but he was asking what changed, which I don't think anything did. So I don't know if Sean's just overestimating. I was gonna go see.
What was the difference?
Let me find
We
his.
might have gone a little bit further out, I think, towards.
I think we extended a
Yeah.
tiny bit, but
Yeah.
where the plan's modified, I came up with 775 to 800 square feet. Sean says it's significantly more. We have the 800 square feet approved, but I think Sean had an additional 500 square feet in his number, which I don't think we didn't add 500 square feet of pavers. So I'd be inclined to think that the Dave is correct.
That's fine. Well, I mean, if it's more, it's more. We don't want to do like, make the sidewalks narrower or, short them any at all, because we're short a few pavers. We definitely gotta go with whatever Sean thinks we need.
Yeah, well, I believe he was looking to pick everything up now and stockpile it at the beach. I don't think he's installing the pavers till spring,
Okay,
but I'll check with Sean. I mean, worst case, we had to buy 500 square feet of pavers, you know.
we can keep them secure, right? The pavers and everything?
Yeah, everything's going to be inside the beach, and the fence is
Okay.
still up. I mean, I think, you know, they're making a massive donation, so
Right, I just want to protect our investment, that's all, because you never know, folks, there,
yeah,
and we don't have cameras that work.
that's another project we had to. I mean, there were never cameras down the beach, but all right. So then the last thing that I wanted to go over, so that with the rec program, I think it's time to start a counselor and training program. And we've been going back and forth on this a whole bunch and trying to come up with how to do it. I think what makes the most sense, so for the rec program, for this summer, we would do a counselor and training program. It would be for 14 and 15 years old. They'd work half-day shifts, AM or PM.
To the afternoon announcement. The Gospel Club will be meeting.
So it
Yeah,
would-
you shut my mic off here, I can hear you.
Okay, it would be so like 7:30 to 1 and then 12 to 5 kind of deal. 6 spots per week, so each group would have an AM and a PM junior counselor. And I think it just, I mean, I think it develops a pipeline that we can then hire in the future, and then it also helps us just get more bodies, you know, and provide some work experience for these young kids. The $1 million question that I can't settle on is, do they pay? Do we pay them, or is it free? It seems like some places do like a discount, half off. I mean, I'm thinking it would have to be 75% off because they're only coming for a half day. So that would work out, you know, they would pay around $75. You know, we could get them CPR certified. They'd have some experience to put on their resume. We can pay them, and we can pay up as low as $7.25. We're actually, believe it or not, we're actually exempt from the state minimum wage if we wanted to be. Or we could just make it free. I'd just be worried if it's free that we don't get the buy-in.
Yeah,
That it's
they
just
don't
parents
show up,
dumping
right.
their kids in our lap. I think there has to be a commitment.
And
And-
are they guaranteed work after?
Well,
If
so then
they-
related to that, depending on how this goes, next year, I think we then start a junior counselor program where we say that we will hire kids at 15 at a sub, you know, potentially only at $7.25 or $10 an hour. We'll have to figure that out. And the requirement is that they had to previously attend the counselor and training program, because normally we hire 16-year-olds. So again, it would build up a opportunity to get some more people that would stick around for more years, which is one of our big problems. But I think we at least have to start with this CIT program and see how it goes, because I think
Why can't this just be part of on-the-job training stuff? Like, develop them as they work? Like in past years, the kids would, follow the senior counselors around and then eventually become senior counselors. As far as other classes and stuff like that, I don't think we should pay them. This is their resume builder, and just say, we have a training program we'd like you to attend. If you attend this, you're going to get this, this, and this. Because we're offering the program for free. If we're doing any additional training, they're getting it for free.
I'm just nervous if it's free that it's going to be very flighty. Like I'm almost inclined to say you pay $75 a week. You register by the week. It's $75. You would come for every day, Monday through Friday, AM or PM shifts. So that way there's some sort of a commitment where the parents are getting a huge discount on childcare, and the kid is getting experience that's then potentially prepping them that we could hire them in the future.
Yeah, that's that wicked gray year where they don't know what to do with their kids.
Right. And
That's like
nobody's
13,
hiring.
14. Nobody knows what to do with their kids. Their 15's a little bit, maybe here and there, but it's really that 13, 14, 15-year-olds that nobody knows what to do.
I mean,
Because they can stay at home, but they can't, right?
Yeah.
Plus we're kind of watching them, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. We could charge for it. I certainly wouldn't pay the kids, but we could
Yeah,
definitely
that's
charge
a
for it. But
price.
it could be something too, where if you ever want to be a counselor, you have to go through this program. So
Yeah,
there's the incentive.
I think we would we would back ourselves into a corner if we made it a mandatory requirement because we would run out of staff. Like I think, so one of the things I put on here is, so do you limit it? I was suggesting limit it to Mendon, Upton only, and potentially prior attendees of our program. You know, because on the one hand, we don't want to be inundated with applications. You know, there are like, there's one person that attended our camp that's from another town that we absolutely need to put in this program. So we have to make sure we carve that out for them. But just because that you know, that's somebody we want working for us. But I think trying to find the gray area. So I had suggested limiting it, you know, saying it's open to Mendon, Upton only, or maybe Mendon only, or someone who's previously attended our program. Because there's one or two of those kids that I think, you know.
So my only thinking
We
is
would
that
really
if
lose
we're
out
doing, you're talking 6 spots per week, that's 12 kids possibly, right? And only for a week, or would they go all summer?
Well, so that's one of the questions I asked Alan. Initially, he was thinking you would split the summer in half. So skip the first week so we can get our stuff together, and then do 2 4-week sessions. I'm actually thinking we might ask them in the application process, they pick the weeks they want, and then we use that to make our decision. But I think it would be multiple weeks.
Yeah.
And then we would look at all the pool of candidates and say, all right, here's a group of people that can do the first 4, the first whatever, and give as many people the opportunity as we can.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. And then just, I would think that would be, why not just charge them $300 if that's the case, instead of a weekly fee, run out a full 4-week fee. Again, you're talking buy-in, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. But do you think, this is the other question I had, you know, if we make it say we make it a 4-week program, what do we do when we get all the people that say, oh, I'm on vacation week 3?
Right.
They're just excluded?
Yeah. I think this commitment, because that's what you're going to get.
Because
absolutely going to get.
I think that could exclude a ton of people. Like we might get nobody.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a trial year, right?
Okay. I'll be done in 1 minute. Okay. Because I have to leave this room.
Okay.
I think you should just talk to Alan, and they're going to be running this program, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the way I'm envisioning it is you'd have 3, you know, they'd be assigned to a group, so they'd kind of look to the senior counselor and the rec manager to kind of give them, you know, here's what you're going to do today.
Yeah.
You know, part of my goal is to use this also to give some leadership experience to those mid-level staff, because I don't necessarily want Alan and Jen to be stuck dealing with these kids on top of the real kids.
Correct. I think
so.
But ultimately, it's their thing. They need these counselors. I would make a motion to go follow their recommendation regarding cost, regarding who attends, all that stuff, and you know, and go with it and try it out this year. It's going to be a pilot program. We've never done it before.
That's a great idea.
And then,
pilot program. Yeah, that's a way to.
We'll try it, see what works. If it doesn't work, or the fees have to change, or whatever has to change, we'll just take it from there.
All right. Well then,
I gotta head out, guys. I have to go to a visit in Shrewsbury.
All right, Tom.
I can hop on my phone if you want me to do FaceTime while I'm driving.
I think there's one other thing I had, and I want to do a junior crew program for the Snack Shack that is paid, but if you're gonna jump
tell you what, let me hop on my phone. Okay, I gotta bug out of this room.
All right.
I'm gonna leave
Let me
service here.
I'll write my notes here on this to discuss. So will you second that?
I'll second it. Yes.
So then I'll follow up with them and finalize it, and then I'm thinking next year we do a junior counselor where we actually, because I mean, I'd be comfortable hiring a 15-year-old, but I think it would help to know that they're not just, you know, a flake. So if they came through this program, then we know more about them.
Yeah, the 15-year-olds we've hired is, like you mentioned, with having them pay, the commitment wasn't there.
No.
So much came up that they needed to not be at work for constantly.
I mean,
And then I went from 5 days a week to 4 days a week, and then I started getting into 3 days a week because of camps or, well, not camps, but maybe sports camps, you know, where they had a specific, so that and we were paying them.
Yeah.
So the commitment that's a tough one, I think, with these younger kids.
I mean, there's been a few, and like one girl, we hired her and she turned 15 in like mid-July, and that worked out. You know, there's somebody else coming down the pipeline that I think we'll have to talk about that I'm inclined to hire them, but just because we don't lose them.
See what you get this year.
You know?
Who knows? We're,
Yeah, I
we're
think
still
again,
struggling with
probably
kids
50%
applying.
turnover, and
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard because all they're off to internships and opportunities.
The only thing we can think of, or I can think of, is the fact that the utility bills are, at home have risen so much. Parents may be more inclined to say to their kids, "We need you to get out there and work," and you know, not that it matters very much with your children working, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
but I mean, I think, and I kind of want to wait to do this too. I think from looking on Facebook, I think there's a huge need to offer opportunities for these kids. So I figure if there's something we can do,
Yeah, it is good for a college application that they've done, more than just
Yeah,
more deeply. I think it's helpful.
and we're struggling, sometimes with staffing. So I think just making sure that this might help us build up our people returning.
Yeah.
I did here. I can show this to Tom too. I did write. So our job descriptions are pretty much the same. I wrote one for a beach director.
Yeah. That was a question I had actually. I forgot about it, but I think it's a really good idea. Like I said, that's what we had when I was working at the beach years ago. But that person really will take a lot of pressure off of you, and someone that you feel can really manage and direct and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, I think we would benefit from some more supervision with the lifeguards.
Yeah.
Ideally,
I agree.
I kind of wrote this open. Ideally, we want somebody certified as a lifeguard, and that this would be a working manager.
Yeah.
So like you would potentially, you might lifeguard 20 hours a week and manage 15 to 20.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get that.
My only concern, 20 hours, it's going to be not a lot of work if they're not actually guarding.
Right, exactly.
It's going to be
that was my
just
fear.
not enough to do, I don't think.
They could work. They could probably work Monday through Friday, come in like 8:30, so they're here during lessons. They can supervise the lifeguards a little bit. They can probably help. I think they can help by being a body down there during camp swim, because that's something the camps struggle with. So you have an adult down there that's kind of just, managing the swim tests and all that.
Yeah,
So there's a little bit of crossover there.
If they really take it seriously, they're a backup. If someone can't be in or is running late, they're going to make sure and cover.
And then potentially assign them some responsibilities with the snack shack. Like say, you're in charge of inventory. You're in charge of, making sure that stuff gets cleaned, or
right.
I think depending on the candidate.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd have somebody that potentially could be certified as a instructor, or perhaps this is a person that could run programming down there, like all the crafts we used to do. So I don't know.
Yeah, that might be the way to actually even write up the what do you call it? The job description or the posting, is that they could be creative with, we're looking for that. We're looking for kind of bringing back what we used to have, and that person would have some ability to be creative and, innovative and things like that. And somebody like really, in the old days, you get a teacher that was looking, and maybe there is a teacher out there that.
Yeah. Well, even that year that it was Kathy LaFlash did some of that.
Yeah.
But
right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so that's a good idea. I'll add that. So like creative, innovative, try maybe potentially organizing, programming, because that would provide work for them.
Yeah.
If they,
Well, they should be making sure that the place is clean. They should be making sure that, supplies, blah, blah, blah. Because that's kind of what I do. I'm not in the classroom.
Yeah.
But I'm doing all the administrative stuff. And then I hop in the classroom if I need it. If it's needed, someone calls in sick or whatever, I'm the one that's jumping in there to help out. But I do all the scheduling, I do all the planning. I'm the one that organizes the meetings. We have a monthly meeting, things like that. So.
Yeah, that's I would love like what Alan does. So all the lifeguard scheduling goes through that person.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about that, because that's my problem. Is I would rather be focused on more, fixing things and let that person handle some of the day to day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know maybe, I mean, Rachel potentially could be a candidate. I don't know if she's able to return. I know she had actual school stuff coming up.
Is that, Phil's daughter?
No, well, she's at the camp. She's our,
Phil
she's,
Dunleavy's daughter?
we got her. She better not be leaving us.
Hmm.
She's a, one of the rec managers. No, she's really good too.
Yeah,
And I like her.
well, that's good.
I mean, we have a lot of good people for sure. I mean, our programming, I think, like you said, you know, it's an investment down there. I think it's time to figure out making that more professional and
Yeah, worked in the past.
getting
Definitely
stuff
worked.
done. Yeah. Well, and
Get the
again,
right person, you know,
there's a
it'll
big
be
need
fine.
for programming for those little kids
Mhm.
that, you know, parents will show up. I mean, the crafts, I think we'll have to think about that. And maybe it's a drop-in program that you pay $10 or something to cover the cost of supplies. And we'll have to think about how that would work out or what, you know,
Well, that's what all the resorts do. They
more
have, you know,
activity-based.
the same stuff, tie-dye on
Yeah.
Thursdays, and, you know, it's not, I think, a huge cost, but, and then you pay. Even though we're owners, we still have to pay for the
Oh, yeah,
craft
yeah,
stuff.
like that, yeah.
But it's cheap, but you still have to pay.
I mean,
Then you do, you know, they do maybe cotton candy, or they have, you know, the ice cream truck comes or whatever, but there's, you know, things that you can do.
yeah, I don't know what, like, I guess we'd have to have somebody. Oh, but this times their estimate. Okay, that's our budget. Yay, she put me at the beginning. Hopefully he can come back. I mean, the last thing I basically was thinking we should do the same thing in the shack, create essentially like a, right, there he is. I should have sent him the number. Well, if you put him on speaker, he can see us, and this will record him. So.
Hey guys, still
Hey.
meeting?
Yeah. So can you hear us?
Why not? I
Looks like his,
had to have the tree before.
yeah, signal's not good.
We'll give him a second. Maybe it'll come back. If he's still at BBT, it's probably no service.
Can you hear us, Tom?
I can hear you guys.
Okay, you're super broken up.
Yeah, I'm not so that will probably get better.
A little bit better.
I think he said it was.
Still hard to hear.
I can hear you guys fine.
You sound like an alien. Can't understand you at all.
Maybe. Let me just call you then instead of FaceTime.
That just kicked in much better now. But if you can hear us, I can at least read this to you. If you're going to drive away, or I mean, it might be better if you call. Because the audio, I mean, the video is nice, but if you're driving, we're not going to see anything anyway.
Mm-mm.
So,
Get rid of that.
and then actually, maybe I can ask him about the AED stuff too before he.
I don't want him to get rid of it. Yeah, he just jumped off.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right, can you hear us now?
I can, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's probably better for just the audio.
Right.
If you're gonna, so the last thing I had, so I wanted to set up a junior crew member program for the Snack Shack. So again, you know, the idea, I think just there's a a lack of opportunities for kids in that age range to have, employment. So I'm thinking it would potentially be 14 or 15-year-olds, because so the problem with the snack shack, we usually don't go under 16 because they can't operate the fryer.
Mm.
And it really, you don't really want them alone. But I'm thinking, so you could do like 14 or 15-year-olds. There'd be 2 shifts, an AM and a PM shift. They'd be partnered with a regular member. And it would basically, so you'd hire four full-time people and then 4 of these junior counselor slots. That would get us
So you get 2 people in the shack at all times.
right, a minimum of 2, which I think we're at the point it's busy enough that, somebody who's really good at food service could work by themselves, but these are kids.
We can also pay them less?
And we can pay them under 15.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about this some more. I think 725 is actually too low. I might be, I don't know. I go back and forth on this. Maybe we should be paying 11 or 12, but we can pay a sub minimum wage because,
Yeah. I personally,
or
I
just
think,
pay them 15.
I would think 10 is plenty for, we're
You're
talking,
not going to get a kid for even because kids can babysit for $10-20 an hour now. So I would say $10 an hour to AJ's point.
yeah, I would go 10.
I mean, I was thinking,
See what happens.
they're gonna, they can do the trash in the bathrooms. So
Yeah.
the beach bathrooms not getting cleaned is an issue. So like, you could come in every morning and go clean the bathrooms.
And it's pretty easy work. It's not tough work, so.
They basically be sitting at the front counter
Yeah.
and then helping to do stuff. The only thing legally they can't do is they can't touch the fryer.
And they're getting trained, so they're getting free training,
So,
which hopefully they'll have future employment through us. Or again, the kids that I would hire with the basketball program, all they did was collect, and I was paying them $10 cash 2 years ago, but they put it on their other work resume, and I was used as a reference. So it's valuable for them as well to have this on
Right,
our
it helps them get a job with us,
Right.
continue on with us, right?
Right.
which is another issue, is retaining people. I'd love to have, because then they'd be trained in the future when you
Yeah.
potentially hire them as a full person.
Yeah. They could take it elsewhere too, because
Yeah.
they could go work in a restaurant in the off season if they wanted.
I mean, so tentatively, I think based on availability, you'd be looking at about 20 hours, and it worked out because they all had second jobs. So Gianni and all of them. So that, and then these kids would be about 10 to 15 hours a week, potentially 4 to 5 of them, depending on availability. I don't know if we want to say just 15-year-olds or legally 14 is okay. And then again, I don't know.
We can bring
We can
14
do
in
14
with,
and 15.
They get that
They get a
work
work permit.
through the school.
They
Yeah.
can't, like I said, they can't operate the fryer, and there's other stuff that we don't have that they can't do.
Right. No
Right.
open flames.
Yeah, they're
Right.
pretty limited under 16.
Yeah, they can actually use the grill because it's electric. Yeah, no open flame, no alcohol. Nobody under 18 can handle that. Not
Right.
that we do that. And then I don't know. What was I gonna say? Something else. Shoot.
So the question while you're thinking, but I don't know how you, but at a 14-year-old next year, they couldn't still work, right? They'd have to come back and do it again.
Yeah, so some places hire at 14, 15. I know Market Basket does.
Yeah.
So if we did it 15, it would basically be prep that they could then come work for us. I don't know
Yeah, if we start with 15, see
14
how
is
it
too
goes.
young.
Well, you might have 2 years with them, but the
Handling
15, say,
money
hey,
and-
next year, this is really kind of a mix of training and on-the-job training, like Tom was saying before, which is, I'm sure, what you're talking about. And then next year we'll look to hire them.
And then I don't know, again, maybe we limit it to only Mendon or only Mendon Upton, just because we're going to get inundated with 300 applications.
Yeah, that's that age, right? Like
So
I
I got
was
to think
saying.
about this.
I think Mendon. Why not stick with Mendon?
Um,
I think you're right. I think it's better Mendon only,
I think,
and we'll go from there.
we do have a duty, I think, to serve the community.
Yeah.
With the camp, I think is a little different, but even the camp, my suggestion is it's Mendon maybe limited to Mendon only, unless you went to our program,
Yeah.
because then we have a frame of reference.
We've tried to do that, but we end up having to reach out to or let other kids in. But
Well, so
yeah, I agree with you.
did I
Take
mention
care of
this
our
to you?
community.
This is fascinating with the summer camp. Our we actually have more Uxbridge people than Mendon.
Oh, yeah.
We're 31% Uxbridge, 27 Mendon, and then 8% Upton.
You know why? I bet you Oxford doesn't have much.
So if Uxbridge doesn't
Okay.
camp, we're done.
Yeah, they probably don't have a lot. Where we have the schools have their camps, we have, you know, the daycare. Well, you don't take kids that young, but we don't take kids that young.
Yeah,
But
so we might think about, you know, I don't know if we want to, it might be too expensive, like an every door direct mailing, or maybe if this new, supposedly a new newspaper might start, but we might want to invest a little in some local advertising, because I don't know where these Mendon people are going if they're not coming to us.
or they're going away.
But
We have one kid in the daycare whose family is going to Cabos in Mexico for 3 weeks because somebody owns a place there. For 3 weeks they were going. I think
Wow.
there's a lot of people probably don't need camps. They probably go away for the summer.
I don't know. So the only things left. So Tom, I mentioned before you got here about the AEDs. I'd like to, so twofold. I'd like to suggest that the parks take ownership of the units that the leagues purchased, and then going forwards, we would handle the maintenance because it's just not getting done in terms of, you know, replacing batteries and stuff. And then I'd like to ask the town for money to buy some cabinets because the new recommendation is that they're mounted outdoors in accessible places.
Sure.
So
Okay.
they're about $800
Yep.
a piece. But I think, you know, given that, especially AJ said, I forgot, you know, given what just happened with the NFL too, I think it highlights the need for this stuff to be accessible.
Yeah, Dan was also saying that the three AEDs, I think it's 3 of them, the batteries are all dead because no one's maintaining them.
Yeah, they're supposed to be replaced anyway every 2 or 3 years.
Right.
It's been probably 5 years, right? Since we
Right.
got that in there.
Yeah, no, they did them once, and then it's different people each year, and it's, you know, it's a very technical thing if you're not on top of it. I think from a liability standpoint, you know, I think they purchased them and brought a huge asset to the community, and I think we would just basically agree to maintain them, which I think the expense is minimal.
Mm-hmm.
So we should probably vote on the minutes.
Yeah, I mentioned, Tom, that I only found one set of minutes that had an edit with the date, and Dan corrected it. So all it was at the very end of the minutes from the 12/16/22 meeting was just to change the date of the next meeting to 12/22, which he did. And then I didn't have any other edits. I looked at all of them tonight. They were all fine as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, I didn't see any issues with them. You know, it's basically everything we talked about, how
Yep.
we talked about it. So
Yep.
I'm fine with that. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes
I'll second.
from previous meetings.
Okay, so
Yep.
all in favor,
Aye. Yep.
All right.
which roll call vote because we're remote, but we voted unanimous. There was something else. The minutes. Oh, I don't know. I mentioned AJ. So Gianni emailed me about the Eagle project. I'm going to apply for the building permit. I reached out to Joe Bianchi about the electrical. He was on vacation, but he's going to come look at it. But it sounds like that's no problem. The only thing so we're probably gonna have to get a dumpster though, right?
For the project?
For the siding.
Yeah, I don't know if they were. We'll have to read his project. I thought they were going to take care of all the waste.
Oh, I emailed him to ask him. I don't know if I sent it yet. If we just, I mean, I don't know. We might need to work out with Sean. We can just, you know, split the cost of one of if he's going to have the dumpster there still. But
Right.
I think, and it sounded like he wanted to get that work done in March. So that would be perfect.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought in his proposal that they were going to take care of the waste, but
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that. I didn't get a copy of it. You know, when I signed it, I remember looking at it. I thought there was a provision in there for them to get rid of all the stuff.
All right. We'll have to ask him. And then the other thing, so that we're gonna have to probably have a professional come in for these light poles now. Alan is checking if there's any opportunities for surplus streetlight poles, but they're very expensive. They're $1,000 to $2,000 each.
I think maybe we should look at replacing them all,
Right.
because if that's the first one that's going to go, they rot out after a while in the base, even though they're treated, it's still going to rot out eventually. They're usually in-ground poles last 20 to 30 years, and they get replaced.
Yeah, well, these are
Andy can't even
1980s.
use those anymore. They're not. The base is basically the earth instead of concrete. So we should probably look at them. Can you get a height on those sometime, Dan?
30 to
Yeah,
35
30 feet. Okay, 30 feet from the
from the
right
ground.
From the ground level.
Let me just double check, but I believe,
That's actually pretty good.
I mean, I was gonna reach out to A.S. Jones and see if he had any suggestions. I mean, I think, I mean, the infrastructure is done in the ground, so they would just, have to pour the bases, put up the poles, and then go from that ground point up into the pole, and then we can buy the lights and just have them do it all and get it all done. I believe, I'm trying to find it. I know I measured them. I just don't know where.
So you want to continue on with the wood poles and some of them?
Well, no, I think I said the same thing that earlier. I think you're right. If we're gonna replace, I mean, unless we have somebody inspect and show that these are valid, it's probably makes sense to just replace them all versus replace one and then have the next one come down in a year.
Yeah, that's my concern. But also, we're putting new fixtures on really old poles. They're probably on their second life, second use. They probably were actual telephone poles at one point before we took them over. So I think before we start buying new fixtures and popping them up there, we'd look at replacing them. So the electrical is over to those poles. Then it would just be a matter of digging out the hole, putting a footing in, put some J-bolts in, and then put some new light poles in.
I'm just trying to
Make
find this
sense?
email. I don't know why I can't.
Yeah,
see-
Dan's looking at it. I mean,
I'm trying to- I-
looking something up.
emailed the guy on the height, and now I can't find it because I measured it with this laser thing that Gene Berthold had. I'll find it was 30 or 35. No, yeah, I agree. I think we potentially we got some extra conduit we can sell if we don't use it. You mount the outlet right on the pole. Redo some of the camera stuff and mount it properly. But I think, if we're going to spend the money, it just potentially could be, $16,000 in poles.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which
Yeah,
we
they're
could
not cheap.
afford, but it would be a pretty major, it would turn it into, unfortunately, a pretty major investment, but
I would just check with
we'll keep looking.
the building inspector, Mr. Charity there.
Yeah.
I'd say if he's still the inspector, and just say, what do we need as far as, do we need these engineered? What do we need for, because sometimes with the, every inspector is a little different. I'm not sure what the new codes are on these things, but oftentimes they want them engineered now, like how far down,
Yeah.
how wide the footing has to be, how deep it has to go, types of bolts you need, and all this other crap. So
I'll email
just check
John.
with him if you see him around, or if you can make an appointment with him, and just say, we're planning on doing some lights here. Anything we need to know? Do we need to hire an engineer? Can we just use stock drawings of fixtures, embedded in the ground, or how does he want to do this?
Yeah, I'll reach out to John and double check. Like I said, I'll probably call Mike Jones. I don't know. It's really him and Braza, the two companies around that I think can do that work, and just have them both quote
Yeah,
it.
and you don't need to be an electrician to put these poles in. Just so you know, if you want to wire them up and wire the fixtures, you need to be an electrician. But any construction company can put a pole in, because it's more construction than anything. It's really about getting a good base, bolting it in the right way, and getting it level.
Yeah.
And the electricians will wire it from there. And since the wire is there, we could make connections on them. But then you got to add fixtures to them. And
I'm just
everything
thinking
else.
maybe it's
You
easier to
get the
just
right
have the whole
practice for that.
project
So
and
at
make
some
it a
point,
turnkey
you're going to
project.
need an electrician, but the electrician doesn't have to put the bases in and stuff. In fact, the electricians usually sub out the footings to a contractor.
Yeah. Well, I'll find out then. I'm wondering if we just make it turnkey and not have to worry about it.
Yep.
So we write it up so they
Any
just,
ways to go with it. I just
you
wanted
know.
to give you guys some info.
but
on
yeah,
it, so.
contractor could do it. But that, we probably have to figure, I mean, the basketball lights do still work, but I think at this point we're on borrowed time, so better do that than lose out on, investment. I'm still
All right,
shocked.
maybe we do the tennis court first or something or whatever.
Yeah, well, I would just do them
basketball
all.
court later, so we can do like half and half.
I think if they mobilize all the equipment, it's easier to get it all done.
Oh, absolutely. I just didn't know if we're running out of time.
Well, we have
You know,
plenty of time
basketball
now.
stats, that's all.
We would just need somebody to commit to completing it before, mid-June. That's all.
Right.
Which should be possible. Like, we'll see what Alan says. If that flagpole is a surplus streetlight pole, but like you're saying, it probably has to meet whatever, hurricane specs or something.
Yeah, they really used to be able to just throw up anything you wanted to, but now you gotta really, towns want stamped drawings for everything.
And
So, but see what a county wants.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool about stuff, and
It's,
if he's fine with stock drawings, and then we don't have to hire an engineer. That's great.
Well, so I just realized too. So it's John Erickson in Mendon,
Yeah.
but John Erickson is an electrician, so he's actually probably the perfect one to talk to.
Okay.
In fact,
Yeah.
maybe he can't because maybe his company would bid on it, but
Yeah,
he'd
right.
probably be the right one to advise us on exactly what they'll require. Because you're right that, and especially given what just happened, we probably do want them engineered. So there's one other little tree that came down like on the neighbor's fence that we pushed over, nothing else. So I don't know, just some freak
Yeah.
gust that hit that one pole, or maybe
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
compromised.
That's the
Maybe
way
it was
goes.
cracked. Maybe somebody backed into it
Yeah. That's very likely.
20 years
too.
ago.
Yeah.
Interesting. But all right, so the only other thing, so I was talking to AJ, so the beach director job description, and I guess you're kind of remote, but I had drafted something out. I don't know if you want me to read it or if you want to wait, I can send it out and we could talk about it later before we post it. AJ's suggestion was to update and say, we're looking for somebody that's like creative, that potentially is interested in organizing additional programming. Because I think ideally it's somebody who's got a lifeguard certification. Otherwise, I don't know if we have 40 hours worth of work for them.
Yeah, it might be a selling point too if they know they can do other things than just sit and watch the water
Yeah.
for a day. That might be what somebody's looking for, and then get a decent pay.
I think if this works, I mean, I'd like to contact all the returning people, and then potentially post our jobs pretty soon and set a deadline. What did I put? I think February 24th for the deadline, and then that gives us, we can figure out interviews. I mean, if you're good with the same process, so I think
Yeah.
Alan and Jen would interview the camp
Mhm.
and the shack. I think last time we only interviewed maintenance.
Well, if we get the
With the
director,
commission.
I mean, that's the other thing, is get that director in place for the beach, and they can be
That's
involved with
true.
interviewing,
That would be good.
and really give them a good opportunity to be involved at a leadership level right away.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe get that posted pretty quick. Are you in agreement with the position, Tom?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, so we're motion to pursue the beach director position.
Well, so then, yeah, maybe I can post this and then give it an early deadline of like mid-February.
Yeah, if you can forward that,
I'll
what
send
you
it to
wrote
you.
up, and
I'll
I'd
just
love to
clean
take
it
a
up.
look at it, and maybe give some feedback.
Yeah, do that. I'll clean it up. This last bit that you added, and the other stuff is just the stock description. So the lifeguard, the camp,
Yeah.
the maintenance,
Yeah.
the shack. I'll post this junior employee. We're saying 15 only.
Yeah.
Um,
$10 an hour.
we're good with 10, or do you want to do like 11, or is 10
I
enough?
think 10. I feel like 10 is
Just
playing
because I'm gonna put that in the
Yeah.
description.
for a
so people-
15-year-old.
And
I
they'll
think
get your
10's
number.
fine.
Yep.
I really do. I think 10's decent money for a kid that young.
I just need to figure out, I'll finalize the actual application form, but I think, getting all that stuff posted as early as we can so we get these people. Oh, and then the financial assistance policy, I didn't even put it in the agenda, but it's just the same. I'll just update the pricing for the current lunch guidelines, but it's just 20% off. I mean, that's what we've been
That was
doing.
pretty minimal, right?
We
which
opened
is
it up.
good
It's
to
open
help.
to everybody.
Yeah.
I think we said swim lessons is Mendon only because the lessons are funded by tax dollars, and the camp is open to anybody because it's self-funding.
Yeah. I agree
Um,
with you. That sounds good. I agree
Yep.
with that.
I mean, we don't
Makes
get too many
sense.
applications, but again, I think it's probably the right thing to do.
We might this year. We might with.
Yeah, we'll see. People, I
I
mean,
think I told you I don't know if I told you my electric bill was unbelievable last month. It was probably.
Yeah, everybody's bill is crazy.
Yeah,
We thought it was us, but we look back, we're still using the same kilowatts.
what's
Yeah,
the
I
supply?
even.
It's the price of the kilowatt hour is up
Yeah.
almost 100% from last year.
Right.
So I think, yeah, I ended up signing up with an alternative supplier, but we'll see if that.
Yeah.
Works.
Yeah, let me know
So,
how that goes. I'd be very interested in.
yeah. Me too.
You have to watch. The thing is, you have to wash it like a hawk because they like roll you over. They change the rate. I mean, they did some study that said they don't actually save people money. So we'll see if it works.
Yeah. The only thing I'm hearing is the way to go is solar, but I don't think we
Yeah.
want to invest in solar.
We'll see. I need to do
I
solar.
just
but-
don't know if we'll be in the house long enough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have to be in the house at least 10 years.
But yeah, that's what I figured.
Um,
And that's
Yeah,
not
because
my.
it's usually typically a 7-year or so payoff. Then you want to make money for a few years, right? So 10 years would be your
Yeah.
minimum investment.
Yeah. Well, that's helpful. Thanks.
do we want to
Okay,
think about another?
Gio Ciccone, just went through it. He told me all the numbers and everything. So,
Uh,
yeah, we're not sure if we're going to be around.
yeah, I wonder what you guys do. I mean, once your kids are gone, well, how many years are you gonna, same with us. Danielle
Right.
says, oh, we'll be here forever, but I don't know if we will. It's a huge house for 2 people,
Right.
So,
So do we want to set a meeting date? I mean, I think probably the next thing, we need to finalize the some RFPs for the beach. I was saying before I'm gonna contact the fence company. I'll write something up to get formal pricing for the playground and the basketball and the pickleball. We should have field use stuff coming in pretty soon. I'm gonna send them all a reminder. I'm trying to think what else we had to deal with. I'll have to bug the engineer about the septic. I haven't heard
Hey,
anything.
Dan, how we doing with the ruts and the ditches and stuff over near the
So
basketball court?
I cleaned up a tiny bit of it. I'm waiting a little bit for the ground to freeze because there's a few different things we need to have done, and I'd like to do it all together. We had to have mulch delivered to the playground. I want to have this cleaned up, and then I want to have some crushed stone or something brought in up behind the classroom here to fill this in. So the hope was to have the stuff delivered, and then we could just pay somebody once to come and do all the labor.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we'll get it. I cleared away a bunch in front of the catch basin the other day. I had some spare time, but we do need to get somebody to just come up here and bulldoze it and flatten it again.
Have you thought any more about letting them use the abandoned volleyball court?
Oh, sorry.
I keep thinking about that. That'd be ideal because they can dig all they want over there and make it a little like circuit.
The problem is it's
And
too close
it's
to
easy
the
digging too.
during the summer. I think it's just way too much activity. One of the kids, I talked to him. If you go up behind the playground where that yellow gate is,
Yeah.
there's all that woods with just a little bit of low brush.
And they're fine using that area. It's not too muddy or anything.
No, I think it's good. I think we got to go up there with a mower and just try and clear it out. But I almost was maybe, when they do this, we'll just say, you know what, anything extra, scoop it up, dump a big pile back there, and then they can do whatever they want back there. It's in the woods, not hurting anything. They liked this because they were riding down the hill, which I get.
Yeah.
But I think, we have all those trails in the back. They could do something out there. It's just right here. It's right in the middle of the parking lot.
AJ, did you see it?
Oh yeah, you'll have to go see our BMX course.
You gotta go see the.
It's pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I haven't
Like a
seen it.
public hazard.
But it's it got way out of hand.
I'll take
Yeah,
a
it's
look.
crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's creative, and the kids like obviously are passionate about what they do, but you can't do it right there. It's like the friggin' entrance to the
Yeah.
park, right? So we gotta clean that up, and if we can give them an alternative space that isn't right at the entrance,
yeah,
I'm fine with them doing something like that. I just want to have a designated area for it.
yeah, right.
Yeah, no, we'll get on that. Like I said, I was trying to wait so we didn't have to pay a bunch of extra labor. I still think, I know we talked the other day, I think it's worth us investing in a machine if we can find something used,
Sure.
so we don't have to keep paying out. I was gonna email you, if you think of it, send me the info on the hydraulics license. I think you said there was a doctor's office that does the things, and then if you had test material or something.
All right, I'll email you some stuff
I'll try
over
to
there. Yeah, for the 2A1C.
Because I
Just
should
think
sign up.
that's where I was doing at the school. They needed, 2 kids are going for their license on Thursday, so they said, we need you to come in and prep these kids for Thursday. So that's why I had to go to the school today. It was the exact same, the hydraulics license.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because I think that would be ideal, if we can find something for like $8,000, it's gotta be probably from a dealership to spend that kind of money, but we don't need anything new.
Right.
That would be nice. And I will follow up. I did talk to Kim a little bit about, speaking of maintenance, about the building and capital request. There's a section in this budget process where they want capital requests submitted. So I'm going to submit this letter, and I will send something to them and say, we really want to sit down and talk about this.
Right.
So I will keep
Yeah,
you
could
posted
you
on
do that? Yeah, get us on the docket somehow so we can plead our case and talk about, what we're dealing with now and just, the future.
Yeah, because we definitely need to move that along.
Yeah, just keep us posted, and we'll try to get to the meeting.
I'm waiting for
get that get us like in their minds, like for the future, because it seems like we're afterthought right now, but we want to be in the front burner if possible.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know, meeting dates.
When will that take place, Dan?
I don't know, honestly.
Rough
She just
frame.
sent out an email about the budget meetings, which I'll have to go look over. And I know she wants to meet with departments.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking through this email. So I need to follow up and find out. We have a scheduled date to meet with FinCom and the select board for the budget, but I don't know if they want to dive into this capital need as well. That's what I'll find out about.
Okay.
Or if they want to set that up at a separate meeting date. But they said they wanted capital requests submitted a certain way. So I will do that, and then also just send them a message and just say, hey, put this on an agenda. Because I think as an elected board, we certainly can reach out and just say, hey. But I will work on that. The goal was to get us caught up on the minutes and all that, and I just got to do our annual report now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know, do we want to meet sometime in January or in February? Or kind of wait and see if stuff comes up?
So we're just gonna move forward with posting the job descriptions and posting the positions, right?
Yeah, I'll get all the stuff posted.
We meet again when we have to do interviews for parks.
Yeah, I'm thinking that won't be until March, so I'm thinking we're probably going to want to meet. I'm thinking we're going to want to meet.
I thought we did them in late February, no?
I was going to probably, if I post jobs now, I was going to put the deadline for applications potentially as late as February 24th.
Okay.
That seems to be when we normally did those interviews. The only one we might, if we get somebody, would be the beach position. So I don't know if we want to try and we could bump that up a little bit. So we could plan on potentially doing those interviews in February. Because usually we did the interviews in spring break. unless we just do it
Right,
remote.
right. It's in March. I keep thinking February break, but it's March, spring break for college, right? Yeah. Okay.
We probably want to meet the end of January, early February for field use, though.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
away
So
end
when
of
it-
January,
Sounds
and I'm away. I'm back February 2nd, but so it would have to, for me, it would have to be in February. We're going to the Caribbean, so I won't be able to call in.
I mean, we could meet the week of the 6th. We could meet if I mean, unless something comes up in January, that might work.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me see.
I mean, if the daytime works, we probably could go over to the town hall unless we want to see the beach.
Yeah, I can do the 6th. I cannot do this. I could do the 7th at night, though.
I'm booked it.
So 6th I can do, like, I like doing it during the day like this. But either way,
I think that
I kind
works
of
unless
depends
we
on
have to
when. The
meet
6th is a good day for me.
softball. I mean, Tom, can you do sometime in the afternoon? Like, could we do 12 or 1 on the 6th?
On the 6th?
Yeah, it's a Monday.
I can't. I can
Okay.
do something in the morning that day.
Oh, what time?
Afternoon's booked.
I can do more. I can do.
Have to be like around 9, like 9 to 10, something like that, 9 to 10:30.
Yeah.
At the latest. It has to start around 9 for me.
Yeah, I can get there 9 shortly thereafter.
So why don't we tentatively plan for that? We'll just do it at town hall where there's heat, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
plan on at least plan on field use. I don't know if we'll have anything else from Sean. Maybe we can we could probably agree on a thing for the courts and all that at that point.
Sounds good.
Trying to think if I'm forgetting anything else. I mentioned AJ. I want to get pricing on an AED for the camp as well. I think that's probably the direction to go. And I am going to do some research on cameras because I do think we got to figure that out. That's definitely becoming an issue. So, all right, I think that's everything I have, unless there's anything
Yeah, I
else.
gotta run.
All right,
I gotta go to work.
I'm just gonna go
I gotta go on.
chat with Sean.
I'm actually at
Oh.
the building I'm supposed to meet at, so
Oh, all
I
right,
gotta run in. But all right, guys.
All right, Tom, take it
We'll see
easy.
you next month. All right.
Yeah,
see ya.
bye.